welcome to another game from the British Championships. This game was Jasper Tambini versus Mark Talbot, who are both in the 190s of ECF, but because Jasper's FIDE is only 1979, which is very deflated because he's been over 200, and Mark Talbot hasn't got any FIDE, it's just converting his ECF, which converts to 2194 at the time, so that's why there's a big rating gap. And as you probably already seen, Mark's brother Nathan is pretty strong as well. He played Drip Drop in round 2 of the Major Open. In this game, Jasper had white, and I've chosen it because we get to see a surprisingly interesting and quick game. To say he played down one of the most boring openings ever invented, which is the main line of the Pet Shop's defence. We got his Knight of 6 move, where instead of Knight C6, Black decides to counter attack White C4 pawn, and it leads to a lot of very dull symmetrical positions. Knight takes E5, D6, Knight F3, Knight takes, and a lot of White players in this position actually give Black the chance to double their pawns just to unbalance it with Knight C3. And Black usually will take because he can keep it symmetrical by retreating his knight, which is a very drawish line, but White seems to have chances because he's getting his tempo. So they usually go and take, and White will take back the D pawn to get queenside castling faster, and they'll both castle on the opposite wings, although if Black wants to job, he can try and castle queenside. That's if it's boring yet, which hopefully Mark Talbot isn't. And I don't think he's quite an aggressive player from his games generally. So I think he would castle kingside and launch hag attack on the queenside. So D4 was chosen, D5. You see, we've got like a pawn structure that's exactly the same as the French exchange. Bishop D3, Knight C6, castles, Bishop E7, Knight Bd2, Bishop F5. This is all fear of this. Rook E1. And now I think Black is perhaps maybe supposed to retreat the knight. And then we get like Knight E5 we're doing, and we get like a few piece exchanges. Something like this. Well, at least this is unbalanced, but it's more likely we actually have the Knight D6. Something like probably Bishop takes Bishop, Knight takes Bishop, and then it's like C3, so it's a very dull position. But Knight takes D2 was played, and now the game gets very interesting actually, because rather than just routinely taking back the knight, which is not that, which should just be something like this. This is just very dry, this position. Maybe White's a bit better with a bit more fluid development and control of the E-file, but more likely a lot of pieces are going to come off in the E-file and there's be a draw. So Bishop F5 is played, and now Knight takes F3 is we've played an in-between move, and now Queen takes F3 drops a D4 pawn for insufficient compensation, so G takes F3 is played. And this is very double-edged because now White has a lot of structural damage and he's opened his king up, but won the bishop pair out of all this in an open position and unbalanced it as well, which is he probably want to win with a white piece against someone with a similar rating. And he's also got like attacking chances down the G file. Queen D6 is played, which may be a point tonight towards castling long and avoiding the G file attack, but the problem is there'll still be an attack on the queen side with moves like C4, A3, B4, so it's quite difficult for Black to play. C3 is played, which supports these B4 ideas in the future and also supports the D4 point. And now, in fact, Black can't even castle long, so I'm talking rubbish because the bishop's cutting him off, which is probably why White has good chances. But maybe G6 and F5 can be played to facilitate this, even though it is very weakening. And then White should probably throw B4 in as a preemptive strike, because seeing as Black is almost the castle queen side, otherwise he wouldn't have played the moves. And then at the castle's queen side, so like Queen A4 with attacking chances. But Black decides to go short, so White of course sticks his king out of the way to make use for the G file attack. Queen comes to F6 to bring the queen closer to safety of the monarch and maybe put some pressure on the F3 pawn in future. Bishop back to C2, preparing maybe Queen D3 to get a battery. Bishop D6, pointing the bishop out to a more active square and pointing at White's king, so there's Queen H4 ideas. Rook G1, and now Queen H4 is played. And Black seems to have a good position. Rook G2 is played, preparing to double on the G file and protecting both the critical pawns. Now Rook comes to the E file. Seems like everything's going Black's way in this position. And now we get my favourite move, Bg5 with tempo, queen to h3, f4 to block out black's bishop, and now f6 is played, which is maybe not the best. Maybe strongest to be with the knight to a defensive spot, and chances seem about even. But after f6, whoops, what's going on? Got a lot of lag tonight, it seems. It's f6, yeah. Attacking the bishop, it seems natural. Like actually the bishop's trapped, but we've got this move rook g3 in between. After queen moves, the problem is now white's queen comes into h5. And now white's got a dangerous attack of absolutely nowhere, just because of black's attempt to win a piece. And the only move to block the diagonal against these mate threats is to play f5, which releases the tension from black's bishop. The bishop and black in the position before would not want to play f5, so he's been coaxed into a move he didn't want to play. And now bishop a6 looks like the best move, but actually rook h3 is stronger. Just attacking h7 again, forcing h6 perhaps, and then rook g1 is a beautiful move. If the bishop is taken, then white just simply takes back, and there is far too many threats from the heavy pieces. Bishop takes f5, can't be stopped, and then the bishop comes crashing into the attack. For example, say queen f6. If I got a check, king moves. Rook takes f5. Just black's got no defense, so it seems pretty strong. But bishop a6 was played, which attacks g7 for the third time. It's defended. It's attacked again. So you see now the points of g takes f3 how good it was, and black's completely toast in this position. Because rook ff7 is played, which seems to defend. But now there's a tactic in this position. If you want to try and spot it, please stop the video now. Jasper finds the move bishop takes g7. Okay, the point is, although the square is defended enough times, if it rotates g7 allows the crushing move, moves a defensive f5, and winning the f5 pawn is actually decisive. Because it's now there is a threat of queen takes h7 check, which would probably lead to a mate. For example, if queen f7 to try and get the queens off. Whoops. Like again. Then we just take everything off. We just take everything off in this square. Etc. So, yeah, bishop takes f5 is crushing. So we tried bishop takes f4, which counter-attacks white's rook. And the point is, if the bishop moves we check, then white will lose a rook. But he finds, but the problem is now there's quite a few winning moves in this position. He finds the strongest, which is rook 3 g2, just removing the rook from attack and saying to black, "What are you doing?" And there's also this is a very beautiful way of doing it as well. But after rook 3 g2, so black thinking nothing better than to just allow bishop takes f5, and then saw that queen takes h7 check and all that's going to be a catastrophe. So he decided to throw in the towel. So I picked this game because it's very impressive how you can win in 25 moves against such a rather dull opening with a symmetrical pawn structure like a French exchange. I thought it was very impressive and a very nice game as well with some nice tactics. So I hope you enjoyed it as well. They're both strong 190 plus players. And please leave any comments and thoughts. Thanks very much.